And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our live stream tonight. Welcome. And today's topic is the ways a mentor can boost your career potential in IT. So again, thank you so much for finding some time this evening to join our live discussion. Please make sure you introduce yourselves in the comments. Let us know what you do and join our conversation with your comments and questions. So if you're new to my live show, I'm Yana Martins, and I've recently started my journey as IT recruiter. So hence, I started a new YouTube channel as well, dedicated to IT career in Australia. So tonight, we are going to talk about the ways a mentor can boost your career potential in IT. And Johann is going to share his valuable insights and real life experience when it comes to having a mentor and being a mentor. So, as the world is changing, there is more uncertainty around, and I'm sure there are a few of you who have been thinking, what's next? What do I need to do to boost my career potential? It's an incredibly relevant topic these days. Please make sure tag and share this video with your friends who need to hear this. So before I'll pass it over to Johann to introduce himself, I just want to remind you that we are going live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. To watch the replays, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, IT Career in Australia. So it's just easiest way to find all the recent videos. I'm going live every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Melbourne time with various experts from my network talking about all the things around IT career, job search, and IT industry in Australia. So we are going to answer all your questions from all the platforms. Please make sure to stay in the topic. Ask as many questions as you want. And the most active participants will also might receive some nice surprise at the end of the stream. So make sure ask the tricky questions. So that's enough of me today. James is asking, James is saying hi. And so we're gonna talk about being a mentor. I've just replied to your question in my intro. How good's that, James? So thank you, and I'm passing it over to Johann to introduce himself.
Thank you, Yana. Real pleasure to be here. So I'm Johann. I work as an independent consultant and offer agile coaching, DevOps coaching, and delivery leadership. My current client's AIA, where I'm working as an enterprise agility coach. And that's me. And look, really excited to be here and to talk about mentoring with you.
Thank you, Johann. I guess we'll start a little bit broad and just we'll talk a little bit about this, who is actually mentor, what is mentorship and things like this. And guys, whoever is joining us tonight, I want to also ask you, have you had a mentor in your life? Maybe at work, maybe just kind of a life coach or anything like this. Or have you actually been a mentor yourself? Please share with us in the comments. It'll be great to see who did and who hadn't. And okay, so Johann, back to you. What is mentorship? Who is mentor? What it's all about?
Sure. You might want to pop onto one of the slides that I sent you, Yana.
Yep.
That's all right.
Yeah, of course.
Now, before you start reading this, so mentoring, it's a formal relationship between two individuals, but there is a transfer of learning, knowledge, experiences, and social capital. Okay, so it's a formal relationship, and there is the transfer of these four elements, I'd like to call it. Now, in this image, you're saying mentoring, so I picked this up from Google, so it's on the internet, so it must be right. It just gives you some of the facets of mentoring and what it sort of encapsulates. So there's a goal, motivation, direction, support, that sort of thing. But what is a mentor? Said provides guidance, motivation, and support, can serve as a role model, helps a mentee. So there's a mentor and the mentee. It helps the mentee grow. It's a learning relationship, right? So it's where the mentee gets to learn more about themselves. And most importantly, I think also the network. So mentors hold a network and a mentee has the opportunity to tap into that network, having worked with that mentor. The basic assumption is that a mentor has a little bit more experience and knowledge than the mentee, and you can be mentored on any topic. Yeah, it could be workplace, it could be a sport, it could be surfing, like what Yana does. It could be any such topic, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I guess we
Hmm.
already have, like a first questions pretty much. Priyanka is saying, I'm
Yep.
eagerly looking for a mentor who can guide me through my career. We'll definitely get into
Awesome.
the question how to find a mentor in a second. But yeah, let's
Yep.
just go through like a little bit like overall idea. Like Johan, like why do we need a mentor? Why we can't just go and just complete some courses and that's it? Why do we need a mentor?
Look, I think as part of anyone's learning plan for a year, and I think everyone should have a learning plan for a year. There's lots of things we do. So how do we learn? We learn through courses, formal training, certifications. We learn on the job. We learn via meetups, via conversations with other people, right? So there's many mechanisms to learn. But I think what's really missing sometimes is the learning opportunities via mentorship. And I think every person should have a mentor there to teach them, to guide them, to help them grow as individuals. And I think that's why mentorship is invaluable. Now, looking back at sort of my career and how I've landed or where I've landed today, if I look at the pivotal milestones on my journey, there's always been a mentor there to help guide and assist me. And it's how I've got to where I am right now, and which is why I always say it's invaluable. It's always invaluable. Get yourself a good mentor.
Would you say that mentors in your life help you, I guess, in a way more than any like actual training? Like what's the ratio? What do you think? What's the impact on
Um,
your career was from mentoring?
Look, just I suppose using my journey as an example. So I started my career off in Sri Lanka. That's my background. So I came from Sri Lanka. I worked in London for a little while as well. And having landed in Australia 10, 12, X number of years ago, it was a different environment here, of course, right? And I remember with my first role here, now this was being a project manager at the time, and starting working as a contractor when I started off here. It was a mentor there who, through an informal relationship that we had, said, and guided me through this whole, new work environment that I was in. There were the cultural differences that I was unaware of. I had the project management certification experience, but how do you apply it to the Australian and Victorian context, especially if you're working in government? And of course, it's that advisory, the interactions with this mentor that helped me succeed, I suppose, in that role, and that's something that no one could have taught me at a training course. It's something that someone who's experienced it can share it with you, so it's invaluable.
100%. Yeah. So there is no like training course who will can help you to fit in the culture. That's
Yep.
I'm sure like I come from Russia, so I moved here like 12 years ago. It took me quite a while to pick up the difference as well, and it's definitely
Yep.
not something that university can help you with. And
Yeah.
unless you talking with people and communicating with people, the local people and people who've been here for a while, you can't pick it up it so easily. So it takes a bit of a time. So definitely, I think the mentor is really valuable in those situations. So, and I guess
Understand.
straight to Priyanka question: how we can find a mentor? Like I'm sure there is a lot of people, and as example, moving from another country, but
Yep.
people who's just here as well, thinking like, yeah, I would love a mentor, but I don't even know where to start. Can I just
Sure.
approach someone randomly and say like, oh, can you please be my mentor? So it feels a bit uncomfortable doing so. So what would be your advice? How people should go about finding the mentor, especially for the IT career?
Sure. It might be uncomfortable, but is it worth the risk? What do you have to lose by approaching someone you don't know, right? Look, I think there are many ways to find a good mentor. Um, Now with myself, I'm mentoring via a university program. So if you're as part of a master's program or a degree program, a bachelor's program in your university, I'm sure there's opportunities within the university to get in touch with industry people. So I know RMIT have a mentoring program, and I'm involved with that with a number of students, mentoring them. They're predominantly masters students who I've dealt with at least. And look, and if you're in the professional realm, um, I'd say going to meetups on LinkedIn, in your own workplace, in your own settings, try and identify people who you aspire to be like, I suppose, in the future, people you look up to. And if you have the relationship with them, there's absolutely no harm in reaching out to them and saying, hey, um, I'm going through XYZ. I really would appreciate having a mentor help me through this journey. Is that something you'd be comfortable doing with myself? And I've had people do this with me as well. And I said, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Look,
Yep.
if on LinkedIn, perfect opportunity. I remember, yeah, no, one of your previous talks with Gabor, he spoke about networking and going to meetups and on LinkedIn and just saying, hey, there we are. There's a man. Uh, can we catch up for a coffee? And most people would be more than willing to, right? And Australia is a small market if you think of it, and people are willing to catch up and have that coffee and conversation with you. And that's a perfect opportunity for you to gauge if this person is the right person to be your mentor. And remember, it needs to be a two-way stream as well. It's not just admiring the person, but looking at the compatibility. Do you have the right rapport and the relationship traits to get along? Because it's a long-term relationship. You can sometimes spend 6 months.
And
Yeah.
I guess I believe that it's easier than you meet people face to face, like as you mentioned, like meetup, you go to
Yep.
meetup, you meet with people face to face. It's easier to to kind of sense who you're clicking with and approach people in this way. So I do find it easier in a way face to face, because you're a real person, you're right here. It's definitely easier than
Yep.
just doing it on LinkedIn. And I guess
Yep.
like I would say, if you're doing it on LinkedIn, um, ask some interesting questions as well. Like if you approaching someone out of the blue, I think the really good strategy on LinkedIn is engage with their posts first. Yeah, someone posting on LinkedIn, like reply to their comment. Engage with their posts, like kind of get this a bit of a familiarization before, if you're a bit worried, just messaging straight away and asking person, oh, can you, out of the blue, can you be my mentor? Yeah, just build a little bit of the communication first, ask few questions, comment on the post, engage in the post, share the post of the people you admire. See,
Yep.
as simple as
Absolutely.
it is, so that then you can like go back to them and say, like, I really like your content, like I would love you to help me with the things. And as you said, Johan, I would like to get to this point. Can you help me with the journey? So yeah, as I said, it's probably a bit more uncomfortable doing it online out of the blue, but if you build this trust over time, it's definitely easier.
Absolutely. I was also thinking, yeah, if anyone who's listening here is part of a large organization, and this also ties into another mentor I had in my journey, working for sort of a blue chip, large scale consultancy, and I had a mentor there help me navigate um, the structures of that organization, as well as the client who we were working with. We're talking multi-million-dollar projects, yeah, and because of I suppose the working relationships within that organization, I was able to reach out to someone and say, hey, would you please be my mentor in this space? And that person's input and advice into my life right throughout that period that I was with that organization for really helped sort of boost my capabilities to perform within that organization. And it also helps to have a cheerleader in your corner, because mentors tend to do that for you. They cheer for you, and they're always in your corner, and they're promoting you within that organization as well. So anyone who's listening, if you're part of a larger organization, look at who else is there in that organization itself. Who can help you? Who would you like to be like? Who's the genuine sort of good person you want to try and reach out to and approach and want to try and emulate, and who'd be your cheerleader in your corner, right?
100%, and it's you already have a common ground. It's much easier, obviously, to connect with someone who already working in the same organization as well. So you already have a reason to approach them. It's wouldn't maybe feel as uncomfortable, and you feel approaching someone who you don't know at all.
Yep.
Arun is asking similar question. What was your strategy on finding a mentor? Tips on approaching mentor? And also, would you recommend an internal or external mentor? Yeah, I guess we just mentioned that sometimes it's easier to find a mentor in your organization, but maybe sometimes it's better to have someone external, maybe that have a completely different view on the situation as well. So what do you think, Johann?
Does it hurt to have a mix? You don't need to have one mentor. You could have a couple.
Yep.
Internal for the reasons I just mentioned, with the large scale organizations. External, just as you mentioned, for a wider perspective. Absolutely. But just on that word approaching,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say genuineness is absolutely important. You need to be absolutely genuine, and don't come across too needy or wanting. Be absolutely genuine, saying it's about my learning, and I want to get better at what I'm doing. It's about my learning and growth. That's why I want this relationship with yourself. And I want you to feed into my life as part of that process, So be upfront, transparent, and genuine. And just listen to what the person says. And most people who've been working for a while and experienced, many different, I suppose, been through a lot of experiences, would be aware of what you're asking for, right? And would be willing to give back, and which is why I mentor as well, right? It's about giving back. It's about stewardship,
100%. And I also believe when you approaching the mentor, if you have a more clarity in what you want to achieve, you probably also get more traction. So if you're approaching someone with just the general question like, oh, can you just help me to progress in my career in general? It could be a bit, could be too general, but I feel like from my perspective, if someone will approach me with a more specific question, I definitely will be more willing to answer. Because when it's just a general question, you don't know. Like if someone will ask me about video and a quite specific question, 100% I will be more willing to answer, especially if I already seen that the person did a bit of a homework themselves. So they already researched some topic and they asking specific questions. That's, I think, also really helpful. Then the someone who looking for mentor have clarity what they're trying to achieve as well.
Absolutely.
We have few more. We have massive comment from Karthik. I have been a mentor to someone, and it has truly been a rewarding experience for both of us. It's a relationship that we both cherish, and even with my mentee being as far out as in America, we have been in constant touch, helping her through her project leadership journey. What I have learned is questions that have been posed that have stamped me, which means I have had to relearn things myself. And I think it's coming back to the, James's comment in the beginning. So we're gonna talk about also being a mentor. I guess the mentor getting as much value from being a mentor as a mentee. And so what is your perspective on this, Johann?
Look, I agree with that. The comment, the longer comment earlier on. You do have fresh perspective on life with a mentee, and I sometimes throw back a question just in my circumstances and the challenge that I'm working through to get a different perspective. So it's interesting, and look. enjoy that relationship. If you're a mentor, there's a lot that you can learn. I agree with that 100%. And you're honing in on new skills as well. So mentorship encompasses a lot of skills, listening skills, coaching skills. There's so many skills that you need to put into practice, and I think you learn a lot through that process as well. And to that question around mentoring, I'd say listening is one of the key parts of it. Listening, and just being, fully attentive, fully present in those conversations. Um, Sharing your experiences, your learning, um, the pain points, your failures, being transparent, open, sharing your failures, your learning experiences, so that your mentee doesn't repeat them. I think those they certainly help. And of course, there's that age-old sort of proverb which says, teach a man, so give a man a fish and he'll be satisfied for the day, but teach a man to fish and he'll be happy for a lifetime. It's the same sort of process with mentoring, right? It's about helping your mentee become a better learner as well. So don't always give the answers. Yes, there's a certain amount of sharing and answer provision, but help them in that learning process to come up with the answers themselves and guide the conversation in that direction as well.
And do you have any, I don't know, specific example? What was like some eye opener for you during your, you being a mentor? Do you have any like specific example that like really like, oh, I never thought about this?
From a learning perspective as a mentor,
Yeah.
um, there was one session where the challenge or the goal put forward was to achieve a certain outcome. Work, get a job at a certain organization, and that was the start of the mentoring process or the journey. I asked what the goals were, and this is what I was presented with. But along that journey, it soon dawned on me that it was more about the listening and being there through some personal challenges that this person was really seeking. And that's where I sort of shifted a little bit towards, yep, I'm your trusted advisor, your friend. I'll be your listener right throughout. And that sort of reinforced the value of the mentoring process, because sometimes you need to be able to pivot and put on a different hat and just go through those conversations and support your mentee as best you can. Yeah, that was a
100%.
light bulb moment for myself as well. This is a lot deeper and much more meaningful than sometimes it's perceived to be.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mention it because I've been volunteering a few times with Big Brothers Big Sisters. It's a non-for-profit organization who helps youth like teenagers that going through some troubles to pair them with the responsible adults as a mentors. And sometimes that's all the mentor need to do, just to listen, because the people pretty much feel just less lonely and more understood, and they have just one person who can just listen without judgment. And sometimes it's a simple thing that some of us just missing in our life, not particularly
That's
in the
right.
career, but in life in general. You just sometimes need one person who will listen without judgment to make you feel better and help you to make some
Yep,
decisions.
absolutely. And the word trust comes to mind there as well, Yana. So it's the trust that you build with that between the mentor and the mentee, that trust-based relationship that's built. And yeah, that's so strong. It's so powerful as well.
James have another question. I've just started a job as a team leader and I want to fair mentor. How do you deal with the staff who don't want to listen and even talk back to you because they think they know better?
So you want to find a mentor. You want to fair
Yeah, I think
mentor.
it's fine.
Find
I think
find
it's a
find
find.
find a
Yeah.
mentor. Yep, cool. So we can deal with
Yep.
that part of it first. um, Look, I'm presuming this is a new role within a new
Hmm.
organization. I'm presuming. So look, observe the people around you. Have a look at the traits of the people around you and people you like to emulate and be like. There's a slide we'll come to in a second, I think, which guides us on what kind of traits we need to look for. And once you feel you found someone you'd like to emulate and be like, and someone who has the right, I suppose, the be a fair mentor.
Be a fair mentor. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
so
right. Okay.
James want to be as a team leader, want to be a fair mentor.
Yep. All right. You want to be a mentor. Got it. Got it. Okay. And people don't listen to you is what you
Yep.
what you're talking.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Yep. Now I'm presuming the mentorships are taking place on a one-to-one basis, but in this case, it sounds like it's a one-to-many type relationship. Yeah. It might be worthwhile, and I'm not sure if you're already doing this, but just catching up with them on a one-on-one basis. And what also comes to mind is, has that relationship, mentor-mentee, been established formally? Have you had the conversation with the individual to say, "Hey, I'm your mentor, and you're my mentee," and has it been a two-way process that's been mutually agreed? Yeah. So I'm just wondering if that conversation's taken place. And I'd say just keep going with the one-to-ones, because the magic usually happens in the one-to-ones. But from the sound of the question, it sounded like that it's a one-to-many.
Yep. Yeah,
Let us
and
know if
it's
that's
a
not the case.
different
I'm
and
more than
it's a
happy to
different
answer that.
role.
Yep, yep,
Yeah, because
yep,
it's a one to many. We're talking about leading the team
yep,
uh,
correct. And
rather
there
than
might be
mentoring.
some correct, and there might be some other elements at play as well. So potentially a bit of coaching that's required as well with certain team members by the sounds of it. Yep.
I guess we can talk a little bit about this role of mentor we have with this. Um, Here we go. James just replied to us.
Okay.
I've told them that I'm here to be your mentor and that I have to, and I have your back.
Yep. Yep. Um, I think James, you probably need to. I don't know, it's a strong word, but I'm not sure if you can force mentorship on people. The desire needs to come from the mentee to begin with. Like I couldn't go to someone and saying I'm your mentor. It's better for the relationship if the mentee approaches you and say, "Hey, I'd like you to mentor me," and that makes it a bit more meaningful. And they obviously have the desire then to be mentored by you. Um,
Yep.
I hope that helps. Yeah,
That makes sense. It's like the people need to ask for help to receive help. And if it's kind of for yeah. And not everyone, not everyone asking for help. With the people, sometimes people, some people just have like this. Some people just not ready
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
And I'm also potentially it could be if you're that team leader, um, mentoring is just one small aspect of the relationship because you're also their reporting manager, I'm presuming, as well. So there's some line management responsibilities which fall on yourself, which then makes me wonder: is that the best relationship? Can you be a team leader and a mentor at the same time? If I was a mentee, I'd probably not want my immediate team lead to be my mentor because the relationship is a bit different. I want someone who can be uh, a bit more transparent. I can be more transparent as well within the organization context. So I'd probably go to a mentor just outside my team, my media team.
Yep. Yep. So James, maybe you want to look for some mentors for your team members outside your team, and pair them up with someone in your organization if you feel like that might help as well to progress on some topics. That could be an option as well. I guess we also want to talk about the role of mentor. You have this nice slide, Johann, that we didn't come to yet.
Yep, yep,
Do you want
yep.
to take me through to this one, please?
Yeah, yeah. A tale of two mentors. So this is about choosing your right mentor. Now we've got two characters there. Actually, there's four characters, but there's two mentors that I'm pointing at. One is Yoda from Star Wars, and the other is Mark Hanna from The Wolf of Wall Street. which coincidentally, before this session, I asked Jana, has she seen the movie? And she says no. And we started unpacking a different topic, but I don't know if you have the time to get into that now, Jana, that you don't watch movies. But for those that watch,
I don't watch
watch The
movies.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Disclaimer. The weirdest thing about Yana. Last time I was in the movie, 2013. So what? It makes it
Wow.
8 years.
Yes. Oh my gosh. All right.
But
Um,
I'll just let you keep going with the Yoda example.
yep. Um, so one mentor from Star Wars, Yoda from Star Wars, doesn't want to be the hero. He's that driving force behind Luke Skywalker, right? And he's all about building Luke's experience, his knowledge and wisdom. And then there's the few quotes there. So Yoda says, "Help you, I can." Yes. Hmm. And Luke says, "Oh, I don't think so. I'm looking for a great warrior." And Yoda says, "Oh, great warrior." I can't do the Yoda voice, obviously, right? Wars not make one great. But it just points out in their relationship that Luke's looking for one thing in this, let's call him mentor for now. But really, Yoda understands the picture is a lot bigger than what he thinks it is. So that's an idea of one kind of mentor, and we go on to see obviously who Luke becomes and his destiny. On the other side of it, so we've got Mark Hanna from The Wolf of Wall Street, the character at least that The Wolf of Wall Street portrays to us. Phenomenal salesperson, right? Just could sell anything to anyone, and obviously willing to uh, teach and train Jordan Belfort in the movie, and obviously mentor him as well. But as we understand, questionable ethics, questionable uh, drug habits, questionable ethics behind his work. You know, so point being here, when you choose your mentors, like I mentioned before, it's a long-term relationship. It could be 6 months or more. Sometimes it could be a lifelong relationship. Sometimes, make sure you really understand what your mentor, what that person's drivers are. Right? What they could be phenomenal at their work, but who are they really? Try and get to know who they are. Try to understand what makes them tick. What's behind them. Yeah, and really suss it out before you get into that.
And I really like your the example as well. So it's you're not always looking for someone who have exact skill set that you want to achieve, but it's someone who can help you to get to your destination. And yep.
Absolutely. Except I think Yoda had the skills as well, but that's because you haven't
That
seen
I
Star
didn't
Wars.
watch the movie, so so that's why I'm just looking at the picture and I'm guessing like Yoda doesn't look like someone who will be fighting, but that's okay.
How about yourself, Yana? What about the mentors in your life? Tell us a little bit about the mentors in your life.
So I have like a kind of different mentors, and I have accountability partners, I guess. That's kind of my way also. So it's not necessarily like someone who mentoring me in terms of the skill set, but I like to have accountability partners, and usually just my friends as well, where like keep each other accountable. I find it's a great way, like we keep each other accountable for like weekly goals, for example. I have like a girlfriend that we share like our weekly goals every week and make sure, we're staying on track. I find these things really helpful. And also, I've actually just joined, I'll try to find this as well. I've just come along this on LinkedIn. Here we go. So there was a post by Peter Watson, and he's a recruiter for recruiters. And what he was suggesting, what he just created the Recruiters Mentor Project, and he just pretty much been approaching different people in industry who want to participate in the project. And so you can see, like he said, we currently have 32 experienced recruitment industry mentors looking for mentees. So he actually, when he advertised his project, he got more mentors than mentees. And the challenge is
Wow.
just to match people now. So I'm actually participating in one of his projects as a mentee. So he matched me with the senior recruiter from another organization. And here we go. That's probably another tip how you can find those, mentors. Have a look at LinkedIn. Could be some people running those projects all the time in the different industry, and then just sometimes do a bit of a research and have your eyes open, and you can find these opportunities as well. So I've just started this project. I don't have many comments about this one yet. But so just I saw it on LinkedIn and just messaged and joined on LinkedIn.
Excellent. Wonderful.
Kefik saying, love the movie example, nailed it.
Fantastic.
And we have another question here from Sandra. What is the best paid or free mentors who will allow you still offer the something even if not money? So can you find the paid mentors, and where would you find them?
I haven't personally come across paid mentors. I suppose for myself, when I consider mentoring, and ask myself why do I do it? It certainly wouldn't be for the money. It will be more for giving back. Just like I mentioned, there are a couple of examples of mentors who've given into my life and in my career. I feel like it's my responsibility to give back, and it's stewardship, right? So it's leaving the world in a better place, right? That's what drives me to become a mentor. And I would never charge someone for it. But that's just me, right? Someone else might do something different, and that's fine too. I personally don't know of any paid mentoring services, but yeah, Google's our friend. Maybe we can have a look and see.
I think there will be different definitions. So if you paid for this service, it will be coaching or like training. So I think the definition will be slightly different. Well, I guess mentoring, it's something more, as you said, that someone it's a two-way street. And I guess you can find some mentors through like non-for-profit organizations. And there is I know there's organizations even who like supply mentors for like CEOs. So those organizations exist as well. So I guess it's probably just a different definition in terms of like mentoring and coaching.
Yep. I'd say so. Yeah, mentoring is about sharing your experiences. It's a deep relationship. Not to say coaching isn't, but they've got different lenses.
And here we go. Sandra is saying, so many mentors I come across ask for payment.
Okay. I'm yet to come across one who's asked for payment, but going back to the example that showed the two mentors, so it's a good indication. Look. Obviously, there's a bit of jokes involved in all that, right? But I'm not here to question anyone's business model or anything like that. If they want to charge for mentorship, so be it, right? That's fine. That's their own business. But look, I'm sure there are plenty of opportunities to reach out to people in your circle, in your network, on LinkedIn, at meetups. All the people that Yana has here on these chats, all potential mentors, right? And I know a few of them. And I think if anyone were to genuinely to reach out to any one of them, they'd be more than happy to say, hey, if I have the time, more than happy to help out.
And I'm glad you mentioned my videos, because usually majority of my speakers happy to have like a half an hour virtual coffee chat with anyone who's listening and who have further questions. And usually, as you probably can confirm it, Johann, people who come to this like live streams and people who want to talk, the people who want to share their knowledge. And if people already participating as a speakers or like doing live streams or like coming to events, they already willing to share their knowledge. So like look up to them, like ask them the questions, and ask them to have this like a coffee chat. And I'm sure, Johann, we can you can be generous enough to enjoy, like, to suggest a half an hour coffee chat with you as well, the virtual one.
Absolutely. 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 More than happy to. Yep.
We just keep going this conversation with Sandra. Maybe just me. I won't name it here, but they are branding themselves as a mentors. One asked for 8,000 from LinkedIn. There you go.
Maybe I should start charging, Yana. What do you think?
I reckon it's a good business to be. 8,000.
Not a bad payday, huh?
Yeah. No, but I guess we're talking about different definition. I think it's more coaching. If people charging for it, they have a coaching program, and it's just a bit different relationship in a way.
Sounds like there's definitely an element of coaching, training, training and development, that sort of thing involved. Yep. But look, I'd say anyone who's wanting to be a genuine mentor, speaking for myself, wouldn't charge for that sort of thing. It's about being selfless and sharing.
How do you mentor, and how do you choose who to mentor?
Oh gosh, all right. I think rapport is important. There needs to be a certain dynamic between myself and a potential candidate. I think we need to get along. We need to be able to have a coffee, a meal together, a beer together, and just have the ability to converse and have that rapport. Yeah. And if that doesn't exist, if that spark doesn't exist, then it wouldn't be in the mentee's interest, keep that going. Not that to say that we can't pursue that, but that's the best option to make sure they can get along. And I advise any potential mentee to make sure they can get along with their mentor, and they can sort of have a coffee and a meal together, and not feel a bit strange by doing so. That's one part of it, and the other is if it's an area where I'm unfamiliar with, which I'm unfamiliar with, I would potentially guide them to someone else in that space. Now, my background, the kind of work that I've been involved with. So anyone who's looking to come down that path, I can share and help them learn and grow based off the experiences that I've had. But if you want me to mentor you and you want to become a expert in microbiology, I might not be the best candidate, for that relationship. But I'm more than happy to refer to someone who, and if I do know someone in that space.
Yeah, perfect. And I guess also whoever wanna connect with you, it's where is your, here we go. Here's your pretty face here. So if anyone wanna
facial hair.
If anyone want to connect with Johann, the LinkedIn is easiest way to connect with you. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. The best way. Every other forum just gets inundated. So this is the best, I think.
Yeah. So if you want to connect with Johann, make sure to add him on LinkedIn. We have one more question coming up. I'm a self-learned coder from a finance background, and I'm working currently as a data analyst. Is there a certification to data analyst that you highly recommend to do?
Oh, I thought this was about mentorship.
I thought so too, but I'm processing.
Look,
coming back to the beginning of our discussion, there is a lot of qualifications what you can do and you need to do, but to find yourself a mentor.
Look, I'd say, Vic, just have a look at any reputable body, a university, a certification body. With certificates, the body that certifies you is important. So make sure that it's a reputable organization, and then have a look at the courses that they're offering. That's the best advice I can give in that space.
And I guess my question would be, do you know any particular organization that provide mentoring? Like in IT industry? Does it exist? Does those organizations exist?
There are a couple of forums on LinkedIn. I haven't been paying too much attention, to be honest, Jana. But I'm sure there are forums, and maybe it's an opportunity for a meetup,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
just have a new business idea,
Mm.
just
You could do after you saw that $8,000 from
yeah, yeah.
the request there, right?
After I saw the price, like I just gonna match people and be a
Yeah,
middleman, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, look, charge 5,000. I think yeah, you might be on price point.
Uh, too good. So guys,
Yeah.
we're gonna wrap up. It's already like 45 minutes of our live stream. Eugene just joined us. Hi Yana, hi Eugene. You're a bit late, but that's okay. So here we go. Just want to type something, yeah. Every IT
Ah,
consulting should have mentoring.
perfect. Thank you. Couldn't agree more.
That's another separate topic, yeah.
In summary of the conversation, as Eugene said.
Yeah. So, guys, so if you have a last question related to mentoring in IT industry, please pop it in the comment while I just briefly gonna let you know what we're gonna talk next Wednesday. So because next Wednesday, 11th of August, we're gonna talk with Ankit, and we're gonna talk about quite specific topic, how to transition your career to a DevOps engineer. So you might be working, in operations, so you might be working in development. So what do you need to do to actually transition to DevOps? So quite specific topic next Wednesday, 11th of August. So, if it's something that you're interested in, make sure to tune in on 11th of August at 5:30 p.m. And after that, on 18th of August, it's a pretty specific topic as well. We're going to talk with Michael about how to build your career path from junior to senior developer. So again, obviously, anyone who joined us today and looking for mentors, that's probably will be a good session for you as well. So look up obviously for my post. It's 5:30 p.m. every Wednesday. And of course, a bit of the marketing here. If you're enjoying discussion, please make sure you like this video, because if I get more likes and comments on these videos, it's encouraged me to keep going and keep bringing various experts from my network to share their knowledge. And look, I'm doing it for free. No GST involved. So that's actually your chance to meet people from the industry and ask them questions and maybe continue conversation later as well. So again, make sure like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel to make sure you get notified about upcoming events, and also if you want to watch the replays. And Johann, last question that I want to ask you. I always like to ask my guests to share their favorite quote. So, do you have any inspirational quote that you can share with us to finish this live stream?
Sure. I'm not going to pretend I can remember this, but it's a quote from Walt Disney. We keep moving forward, opening new doors and doing new things because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. That's from Walt Disney.
So be curious, guys. Be curious, ask questions, and that's the easiest way to find a mentor.
There we are.
Thank you so much, Johan. Thank you so much, everyone,
Thank you.
for joining us. So make sure to reach out to Johan if you have any further questions. And I will see you next Wednesday.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.